I think not sticking together. I think that NATO made a terrible mistake when they wouldn't send a small amount of military armament, when they wouldn't send just even acknowledge what we were doing for the world and taking on Iran. I never considered it very risky, but war is always risk. You know, a lot of strange things happen in war that are very bad, but I didn't consider it. I know how great I'm. We're the greatest military by far. Anywhere there was nobody close. I didn't think there was a big risk, but there's always surprises with war. They can be very bad surprises. I mean, wars are lost that should be won. Many wars are lost. You think a country's going to wipe somebody out, and they end up getting wiped out themselves. So it's always risky. But I think a tremendous mistake was when NATO just wasn't there. They just weren't there. It's going to make a lot of money for the United States because we spend hundreds of billions of dollars a year on NATO, hundreds of protecting them. And we would have always been there for them. But now, based on their actions, I guess we don't have to be, do we?
Mr. President.
That sounds like a breaking story, yes, sir. Is that breaking news? Not sticking together.
Shalom, shalom. First off, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, Yahweh been true name for the Father, Yahushai been named for his only begotten Son, who the world eagerly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I give double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elders, a great millstone, touch the truth and will well, and citation to hopefully puts this truth and honesty, sincerity. It's Brother Yahweh. Continue to listen to the spirit power of Yahweh Shai. Just came across this news post on IG, and it's titled, it says, Breaking Trump announced that the U.S. is leaving NATO because European nations refuse to join his war against Iran. The U.S. empire is withdrawing and becoming isolated on the world stage, and this is prophecy being fulfilled. We are really, really close to the end. Okay, World War III is about to pop off. You're going to have a nuclear world war very soon, and this is just a sign of it. And there's a big precept that, comes screaming to mind when reading a post like this, and is that the beast shall hate the whore. This is the book of Revelation 17 and 16. Says, And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Okay, and here's the post, the picture we always take when we go to prophesy. You'll see a lot of camps of GMS will have this poster here, and it's to edify you on what that was talking about in the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter. The whore is talking about America, the great whore. Okay? All right, and it says NATO is an acronym for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It was established on August 4th, 1949, consisting of 19 nations: Greece, Italy, Spain, France, West Germany, United Kingdom, Portugal, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Canada, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Turkey, United States, Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic. Okay, so he's just making moves to depart from that agreement or that friendship. So that means that any of these nations at any time can now be a target by Trump. Okay, and they could also target the United States. They can just go either way. All right, but that great red dragon goes into Esau, Edom, and his major world empires. Okay, so these shall hate the whore. So all these countries that's been on this list that was part of NATO, one by one, they're going to hate America and target America, and you're going to have a lot of beef going on. And America's going to be targeting them. And the stage is set. Things are moving very, very fast, because keep in mind that this December is supposed to be automatic registration for the United States military draft. So they're going to automatically select people. It used to be you had to, go and volunteer and put your name on the list, or they'd have to go and try to find you later on and then go door to door and say, hey, come with us, you're drafted. People are going to automatically be put in the system in a big pool of names that's going to be selected for the draft that's going to be coming up in World War III. So for him to be making talks like this on social media posts, that's saying that he's basically departed from NATO. When they're getting ready to start the draft, all signs are pointing towards a great gigantic conflict within a year from today, or starting from basically this spring or even possibly this winter, man. We don't know what the Lord's plan is and how He wants to move, but this is big news, man. Okay, because you got Trump. He's even made threats towards Mexico and trying to bomb them and stuff like that, man. So hey, we in these times, the stage is set for a great battle. Okay, this is Psalms 55:21. It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords." Right, man. Okay, so war has always been in this man's heart. Iran has been one of the number one targets because that's one of the few nations left that does not have a central bank established. So, really there's a puppeteer that's pulling the strings. And right now, Trump is the number one puppet being used right now for the agenda of the elites. The head tribes of Esau, Edom, of Amalek, the Rothschilds. They want this world war to come. They want Iran. Okay? They don't feel comfortable. They can't rest unless they're, stealing, killing, destroying, and continue to take things that don't belong to them. They've already gone in all these countries done genocide, but they're not satisfied, man. They can never be satisfied. So Esau Edom, he's got war in his heart. And it's going to happen in your lifetime, man. You're going to see this great war. And it's going to be bad. This is Ezekiel 38, verse 1. It says, "And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog, the chief priest, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of the Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and put hook into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth. And all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, and great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands. The house of Togomar and the north quarters and all his bands. And many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." Right, so the Lord is going to be pulling all these different nations, man, over there to the Middle East in the land of Armageddon for a great fight. One of Iran's greatest allies is Russia, so Russia eventually is going to step in. And once there's boots on the ground, we could expect a lot of heavy Russian activity all the way over here on the west in the United States, man. All these nations about to get busy. There's been a lot of threats from Iran for U.S. soil this time. So keep watch, man. Be cautious traveling now. Things are getting pretty chaotic, man. You just got to use wisdom. Be wise as a snake and harmless as a dove, man. Because the scriptures talk about, we're sheep in the midst of wolves. So we have to move, very strategic and calculated. Okay, because you're going to catch yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time and get in the middle of a firefight, man, between these nations and these wars that's going on. Okay, but your lives are about to change once this war becomes fully active. A lot of people just, think if they don't look at it, then it doesn't bother them and nothing's going to happen. But you need to be prepared, man. Keep watch. Okay, keep watch day and night and do these lessons and warn and edify. Because we're going to need divine intervention to escape all these many ways to perish. Okay, there's many, many different ways to perish coming up. So, you got to move with a lot of wisdom. And ultimately, you're going to need the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Shai, these scriptures. Okay? Because the Lord will give you divine intervention and protection once you see that you're seeking Him and you want to be, you know, of the fold of that number. So we dare not declare ourselves of that number, but you know, scriptures talk about work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You just do the best you can, man, and pray Yahweh Shem Shai deliver you and get you on that chariot, because we're gonna need it in these times ahead, man. It's about to get very, very ugly, very, very soon. All right, so with that, was well as lessons edifying. Warning got out. I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahshai, Bashem Kakadash. Step on us, our apostles, elders, great millstone, touch the truth and will well, and citation, hope, like, precious truth, and honest sincerity. Shalom.